our families. I just wanted to make a video for you today to discuss a social experiment that we conducted today. And I'm sure you're going to hear about it. So as you know, we've been this whole trimester learning about our identity. We started with physical, then cultural. We just ended our personal identity, and we started our social identity yesterday, including how do social groups form, and how you're influenced by things around you, society, even influences for your personal identity. So today's social experiment that started yesterday was to see how, when you're in a social group, what happens when your social group is being given a judgment or a stereotype. So yesterday we started off with having the kids create some fun social groups. It was based on a junk food that they liked. So we had kids that like candy bars, kids that like cookies, kids that like fruit snacks, kids that like kettle corn, and kids that like chips. Based on their interests, they formed a group, and then they became a group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, or 5. I gave them time yesterday to enjoy each other's company, build that relationship with each other by coming up with a group name, a group cheer, and even brainstorming other interests that they had. And they were very surprised to see how many other interests they had than just their favorite food. Then today, their groups were given a stereotype. Now, no descriptors were used, no adjectives were placed on their group. It was basically some groups were given more choices than others. So in the morning, groups 1 and 2 were given more choices. Groups 3 and 4 were given less choices. And group 5 was just kind of there, not given a lot of choices as well, but they were also not 3s and 4s. Then we did a break from the experiment to do a thumbs up, thumbs to the side, or thumbs down, how kids felt. And of course the 1s and the 2s felt very happy because they were treated with lots of choices. And 3s and 4s were not so happy, and 5s were also not so happy. After recess, we flipped the roles and the stereotypes, and the 3s and the 4s were the ones that had more choices. 1s and 2s were not given really any choices, and 5s were also just there. However, they were not treated like a 1 or a 2. They were given some choice, but not as many choices. After that, we paused the experiment again and decided that now we'll just stick with our social groups and decide what was your role in the social group and how did your group or yourself react to the way that others were being treated, and also thinking about, was your personal identity lost within the social group, and what choices did you make to make sure that you were following the experiment, but also were you thinking about if you felt bad or sad or mad about what was going on. And so they're actually just coming back from recess, and they were still with their social groups. Now we're going to have a discussion about these guiding questions, and this is what these questions are, the questions that really guided the experiment today. How do stereotypes affect how you judge yourself and others? And also, what leads to prejudice and discrimination? So we're going to have the conversation right now, and I'm going to be sending another video of some responses from your students. I encourage you, because this is a serious topic, and it was a pretty serious experiment. They went through a range of emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, frustration, but a lot of them have already expressed that they didn't like that kids were treated unfairly, and so we're going to go ahead and brainstorm what ways we can help in those situations. I encourage you to continue this conversation and discussion with your child at home. You can use the video of kids' responses that I will also be sending as a starting point of talking about their identity as a whole, especially when social influences or such as stereotypes, prejudice, discrimination starts to happen, and what can they do, knowing their personal identity, what can they do to make a change? So thanks for your continued support, and let me know if you have any questions about the experiment. Most of them enjoyed it, parts of it, and they've definitely all learned something from it. So thank you.